Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Thursday, March the 28th. And today we'll start with the S&P, and just didn't have much going on. It felt like just paint drying all day today. Just this is the S&P. We just 2820 here. There's 2800. We hit. This is SPX, not the ES. 2797 a couple of times, here, and just tight range bound. Nothing going on in the ticks. Just not much going on. So that's kind of welcome, after the last several weeks we've had with these wild swings back and forth. In fact, let me show you. Let's back this out to a 1 week chart. There's 5 days. And you can see we've kind of gone into this quiet time, I guess, for lack of a better word, which is good. And that's a pretty tight range, actually. So that's a 5-day chart. Let's back this thing out to 10-day. Gets a good perspective on where we've been. So if we look at this, we've got 2680 up here. At this point, I really kind of thought obviously we do one or two things. I thought 2850 on the SPX was going to be a big. I had a level there, and I thought we might not get through that, and we might pull back at 2850 when we just, and that's right there. You see that double? That's 2850, and this is 2850. We came back up, and I thought, well, we're going to fail here. And we started to. I thought we'd come back down here, and we might come back down lower. And we didn't. We took that level out and went to 2860. It was kind of strange because it was in the middle of different levels. And anyway, the market was pushing harder, higher at that point. And let me pull this up here on the bottom and show you. So that was on last Friday. See this? 2860. So I was watching and I was thinking, well, we're rubber bands getting stretched kind of thin or tight and that kind of thing, but momentum was behind us here, and we could break out higher. Now keep in mind, 2940 is the all-time high, and that's getting pretty close here. That's 80 points away, and we've been moving 80 points pretty quickly. But as it happened, we kind of came all the way back down here, and now we've gone into this kind of chop mode. Let's go out one more time frame here. Again, there's 20-day chart, and you can see from the again, this is 20 days from the bottom to the top. That's what, 137 points, 138 points. Kind of basically straight up, and again, then we've kind of consolidated here. So taking this out lastly on our longer time frame here, as we have done so many times before, and I keep this chart kind of clean and show you, obviously we've talked about this level here. We've got that there's 2800, and again that's 2850, and then that 2860, just barely one little pop above that. So, and right here is a 200-day moving average. So why do I show you all these? Why do we look at all this stuff? Well, one, the S&P is a proxy for the overall market, of course, and two, this gives us a good idea of where to begin doing some homework and try to figure out what's going on. So we've been in this, although it's a pretty good range, we've been in a little consolidation here. I kind of think that continues here in the short run, and now in this market, the crazy thing is, for any of you guys who've been trading with me for a while, my focus is really a little bit further out, 30, 60, maybe 90 days out, maybe. So that's what I've typically been looking at. But in this kind of market, you can't go out that far. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day, 7-day time frames for a somewhat predictable move. Once you get out further than that, we could be up here or we could be down here fairly easily. So it's hard. It's getting it's harder and harder to do anything yet. Now I think there will come a time fairly soon, probably when we get back more into chop mode and that type thing. Maybe we make one more push up here, maybe we take that out. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that at this point. There are just a lot of problems that continue to come up. We've got inverted yield curve now and I think some of that is honestly is from money coming from the UK, and that might not mean as much. I think global economy is slowing down and so forth. We've got all that China deal. Is that baked in or not? That kind of thing. So, so what's going to take us higher and what's going to take us lower? Well, obviously we've got earnings season starting again fairly soon. That should at least initially, give us a run into earnings. Then we have to get through the earnings, and see what happens with the actual earnings, right? So again, we may come up here. We could take another breather, come back down here. I had actually been looking at, I've got a big level down here, fire line at 2650, come down here before making that run higher. So the bottom line, I think we're going to be in a wider range here over the next, say, 6 months. In the next 6 days, or 6 or 12 days, maybe we'll be in a little bit tighter range. So I am trying to I'm actually trying to sell a little premium here. We're starting to get a little bit of tick up in vol. I'm trying to sell a little premium through credit spreads, and being very selective on names. And I don't really, I don't really have a lot at the moment, just because nothing is jumping out as a good, a very good solid setup. So I don't want to just start throwing things out there, right? We have to keep powder dry and wait on the opportunities to come along, and I'm not seeing that many right now. One thing I do want to mention is the rut. Now the rut has been leading here, and it looks to be leading here currently, ahead of the S&P. So we need to keep an eye on here and see if this continues to break down, or if this starts to bounce, in this area. Just keep an eye on that. And we're below the 200-day, so it is it's actually starting to kind of trend down. And again, this could break out easily, but it could also continue to do this. And then we look back a couple of weeks, and the S&P's done this as well, and the Nasdaq too. So again, a lot of things on the horizon coming up, Fed, so forth, but nothing in the immediate future. So I'm kind of in limbo, and I'm being very cautious on it. But again, I'm selling a little premium, just cautiously. So with that, like I said, I don't have that much as far as anything specific today, because I'm very, very light right now and just sitting on a lot of cash, just waiting on opportunities. So I hope this makes sense and gives you maybe a little perspective on the market and what's going on. So with that, let me wind it up here, and I will see you guys at the next update. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it.